Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to do a little bit of work in the garage. We're going to be making pannier racks today. This is one I just made up earlier. You can see I've got the nice tight bends, good radius on those. This is the pipe bender I normally use, but one thing I hate about this, it leaves big marks in your tubing, and the radius is absolutely hideous on it. It looks horrible. So I've built this little one here. It looks like shit, I know, but it done the job. This little wheel here, like 19 mil. This come from Bunnings. It was actually like a gate for a gate. No, a door. You bolt these to your door, and it's like a runner. But yeah, that was like $23 for that. And the rest I just had scrap laying around. I'm using that little wheel there, which was off of that. Yeah, so virtually I'll just put the pipe in here, clamp it. She bends good. Yeah, all right, we'll get a length and measure it up, cut it down, and we'll start bending, eh? Well, so this steel tubing I'm using is 19 mil outside diameter, and it's got a wall thickness of 1.6. Rough plan. 330 across the top, 225 down the sides. I'll start off halfway between the bottom, which is 100. I did 165. 170, and then go up 225. 100. All right. So where I marked that, I've made a little groove in the down here. I've got a little mark there, so if I line that up with there, that will be the center of my bend. So all I do is line that up and put a G-clamp on there, just because sometimes the pipe will want to pull out. As soon as that pulls out, that's where you get a kink. You can pretty much just line it up by eye, or you can just get a rough guess using a square. That looks pretty spot on. All right, I'll just undo this clamp. As you can see, it was just slightly off. I don't know, something moved, but not bad. And I'll just line up the next one. Try and get it pretty much level. Move around to the next mark. Yeah, that one was spot on. So as you can see where I marked it, just right there is where the center of the bend is. It's like, you know, halfway between you. Alright, when you get to this point, because I left a little bit extra, we got to do, cut a little bit off, then keep bending. I might have to just bend that a little bit again, just a touch. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to tack that on. Pull out the pins. That's how it came out. I think I might have been slightly longer one side than the other, but ain't gonna make much difference. It'll work. Alright, so there's our hoops made up. Now, must admit, one didn't exactly come out exactly the same size as the other one, but I don't have a proper jig, you know, to do all this, so, but that's alright. You can't look at both sides of the bike at once. So these will be sitting around, roughly around this position. I will have a bar coming maybe from the inside, curve it around to mount on this foot peg. I'm going to put a plate, both bolts, because I have seen other ones, the eBay ones, right? They only have one bar at the top, one at the bottom, and I've seen them snap. So I'm going to make sure I use a plate, 2 holes coming to here, and then there's going to be 2 bars mounting, one there and one there. So straight out, should be really strong, and then probably put another one across. So I've got a bit of flat bar here. It's 20mm wide. I think it's about 5mm thick. I'm going to make a bracket coming off for this one, and because I got this rack on here, right? This Ventura rack, it's going to be hard to get in there to mount that. You know, I think I'll come out about 50mm there. This one here, I'm looking at it. If I put the pipe in there, it's going to be pretty close to the exhaust. My figure is putting a bit behind there, come across, sit it down there, and weld the pipe onto there maybe. I think that's the only solution. If you didn't have this bar on here, it'll be easy. I could just simply make a bracket off of there. But you got to modify shit when you got other stuff on. So I'm gonna just have a go at bending a bracket. Come around that rack. I measured 35, 55, 35. I probably bent it a little bit too far because it's not actually a right angle. Yeah, it's a pretty good angle. I just put a little groove just to guide the bend. Make it a little easier. Not that I've done that one very straight, did I? Something like that. I know, you might not be able to see it properly on camera, but I'm going to have that one sit down the back there. It might have been a little bit tight. I'm going to weld the pipe onto there, coming out here. I've got that bracket there. So I'll have two good mounting points up here. One from here, one from here. Alright, so now I've got those just loosely sitting there. I'm going to take off this foot peg and make a bracket for here. I may even be able to do this without welding it while it's on the bike if I'm lucky. I'll just tack everything together, try and line it up, and then weld it up on the bench maybe, like so. Probably a bit of pipe around here, a little bend. I went to 11 centimeters. It's a rough guesstimate. I'll do some holes, bolt that on there, and the pipe will sit welded on up the top there. Oh, so I just loosely bolted that on. Got the plate underneath, but these bolts are only hanging on by a few threads, so I'm going to have to replace these as well. Too short. But anyway, what I need to do is work out a distance. Yeah, work out how far out this is going to have to sit. So I've just straightened the bike up, put it on a stand. And always a good idea to have your bike level if you're going to do this sort of stuff. Otherwise it might be here, it might be there. Who knows? So I'm going to use this little notch here as a guide. Oh shit. Scared the shit out of me, bike nearly falls over. Try and get about level. So I think we're looking at maybe 9 centimeters. I think the back one will be a bit closer, obviously. I think I'll do about 80 mil, 8 centimeters for this one here. I'll get a texture marker. It's going to come out to about here. Have one about here. Cut that one out and tack it on and see what it looks like. So I'm just going to squish this end in a little bit, make it a little bit easier to weld on. Let's do something like that, and then when it sits on, I'll get a much better weld on that. Beautiful, nice close fit. I'm going to sit that one there and have a go measuring this side here. I'd say about 70 mil. Alright, because I was having a little bit of trouble lining these up on the bike. This is off the rack. I'm going to use these holes as a guide. It sits on the bike like that. I'll put a bolt through there and then line this one up and put a bolt through there and then do some more welding. So that was a lot easier. I've just had to bend it around a little bit, get those holes to line up properly. That's the idea of just tacking it at the start so you can still move it. So I'm going to go ahead now and just fully weld those up. Alright, so I've just fully welded all that. Welded that centre part. I'll try it on the bike again and then we'll get a measurement for this bottom brace. Alright, so now I've got them bolted on just loosely. What I've got to do now is work out this side bar. I have to trim it off, slice it off a little down there, or I could squash it maybe, not sure yet, but I think I may have to put a bend in it. Yeah, I might put that straight there, just bend it out a little bit here, and I'll weld it on. Big old exhaust, which makes it a little bit difficult. Alright, that is loosely put together. I'll just tack these on, bend that into place. If you weren't putting the foot pegs back on, it would be easier. You could just weld the bar in between there, but I'm going to put the foot pegs back on because I may just need them. Yeah, I think I'm out of time for today. I'll have to continue tomorrow. Yeah, actually, I had to bend this pipe around a little bit just to miss that exhaust. If you got a stone tune or FMF pipe, you'll probably wouldn't have to worry about all that. You could probably just go straight across, but she's a custom fit, this jobby. So I did a little bit of work off camera. I just put some tabs, because when in my crappy old pannier bags I've got like breadboard, and I just screwed that through the bag onto the racks, so no quick release or nothing. Put some tabs on, got the foot peg on. It's feeling pretty sturdy. I may even put a piece down there, you know, like what they hold the rotor packs on, jerry cans and shit. I could put one on the other side and actually put a can on the maybe on the inside of the rack. See what happens. Now I've got to replicate this to the other side, so I won't really video that. I'll come back to you a bit later when I've done a bit more. Alright guys, so it's been a couple of days since I started on this bike. I've just been doing little bits and pieces here and there, so I've pretty much now completed. These bars are actually just for the gear sack got on the back, but yeah, she's pretty much all done. Some of my welds didn't come out the flashest. I got a little bit low on gas, so I wasn't really getting the flow, and they turned to shit. So the idea of the tabs, because when I put my bags on, if you can see in there, I've got like a Teflon cutting board, yeah, cutting board, and I basically just bolt them on because these are just crappy old bags. I've got no straps on them. One day I'll buy some good ones, and then I got all the loops and shit. So pretty much up to the painting stage finally, and yeah, I'll give them a coat of paint. Just going to use a bit of epoxy enamel. I'm going to heat it all up with a heat gun and then paint it. It's pretty cold. Resist the temptation to touch it straight away, and then come back in a couple of hours and I'm going to fit it all up on the bike, and then we'll have another look. I just gave him a couple of coats of black. See that? It's looking pretty good. Now I just got to wait a couple of hours for it to dry, because it's not going to dry very good on a cold day like this. But yeah, that's basically it. I'll come back when I get them on the bike and we'll have another look. Alright, so bike is now all together. Pannier Racks are on. Just got to bolt my bags to that and I will be done. Alright, I think that'll be it for this video. See you in the next one.